Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Tim Brooks, Managing Director with Worldwide Technologies Data Strategy and AI Solutions Practice. We're partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT's CIO IQ, and International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to Ed Kelly, Chief Data Officer for the state of Texas. Hey, Ed.
Hey, good morning, Tim. How are you?
Very good. Thanks. Thanks for joining us. You know, I've got a question, Ed, that for our audience is probably going to be helpful. And that is, what is the mission of your agency within the state of Texas?
That's great question. So DIR is the Department of Information Resources, is the agency that helps other agencies. So we effectively work with a variety of different areas, whether it be technology, whether it be contracts, cybersecurity, accessibility. A lot of the responsibilities and the functions of our agency are those built to support and help and assist agencies become successful for their particular mission, including data management.
So when you were a little kid, this is what you dreamed of doing when you grew up, right?
It's interesting. That's a good question. But, as a little kid, no, I didn't certainly dream this. My career is one that's been interesting. I've had a number of private sector opportunities that have been around data. I first started in a finance role as an accountant working for a bank back in Boston, and where data and accuracy of data was extremely important back then because we actually settled trade activities for the representatives of our mutual fund companies that the bank supported overall. And then moving into IT roles in the private sector, certainly either managing IT groups that manage the information and were the custodian of the data, that was extremely important. And then in the public sector roles I've had both IT and operations responsibilities. So I've been on both sides, I guess, of the desk in working through this. But, this opportunity came about 5.5 years ago when I was in the private sector and this opportunity came up. And I saw it as another, I'll call it grassroots greenfield opportunity. Back when I was working in the private sector, I had a great chance to help establish the Dell Financial Services group out of Dell. And I also managed an opportunity at State Street Bank and Trust Company, which also was a greenfield situation. So coming into this particular role, and I know if I'm probably going off your specific question here, but coming into this role, it was my desire to work with people. Because I think the most important thing about a CDO is obviously you're dealing with people, you're dealing with processes, and you're dealing with technology, but it's the people aspect of that job that made it most interesting to me, and where I could be able to help, where I could be able to assist individuals in their journey as they manage information and data for their specific agency.
Got it. That's a great perspective, Ed, because outside looking in, I probably get the same reaction that you do when we're at social events and people ask, what do you do? Mm-hmm. And, how do you answer that as an example?
Well, first I start off that I work for the state of Texas, and that the particular role is really one more of a strategic opportunity. It really is one that sets up a framework to which other individual agencies or institutions of higher education can leverage that framework. We talk about, kind of focusing on data governance or managing information. We talk about quality and accuracy of the information. And by this time, I've talked to the individual at the picnic or offsite at the social event, and they've become kind of blurry-eyed. Well, realistically, I do try to stress the importance of the role being an enterprise level role, and the fact that my previous experiences and so forth helped to be successful in making other people successful. That's what I think the principal foundational piece of this job really is. So.
I like your perspective on it. I think it's instructive for other chief data officers, particularly in the public sector, in that your role is to provide the framework, the governance, to make people successful in the use of data. And obviously that also includes both a governance aspect as well as undoubtedly for a state government, a degree of privacy protection. What else has changed, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what has changed about the mission of your agency, your office, coordinating with all those other state agencies? And of course, Texas has a lot of them. What's changed over the last few years?
Obviously, we've become more of a service-oriented organization overall. I think, the particular role that I play has, I had an opportunity, again, as I said earlier, to kind of start it out and develop it from scratch. But it is one of those types of things that it's never the same every day. I consider myself a broker. I put people together. People call me and ask me, hey, I really would like this data set from this particular agency, but I don't know who to talk to. So I have contacts in all the state agencies. So I actually put people together. I'm a facilitator of collaboration. We have a number of organizational groups that we meet with quarterly or monthly that helps facilitate discussion. One of the things about state government, I think, is that sometimes we are so siloed in our approach. Individuals are working on the individual agency's mission, but there's talent throughout the entire enterprise. So bringing talent together and allowing a more seasoned, more mature individual in data management to meet and talk with somebody who's just starting out, and sharing of that knowledge is one of the things I think is extremely important in this particular role. The other thing I do play is as an internal consultant. So I will get a request from an agency that says, hey, I really would like to investigate an analytics platform. What do you know? Who do you know? What can you tell me? So I'm kind of become the kind of de facto individual that, again, if you have a question, I'm the 311 when it comes to data management. So